This is why I want you to be with that. Your own family friends might say your ministry is dead. Your own co-workers might say you ought to give up what you're trying to start. They say you used to be a pimp. Now you're trying to live the right life. But see, let them go ahead and think what they want to think. Because when Jesus steps out in front of them and calls your name forth, regardless of what they say, you're going to step out of that situation. Oh, Lord. You're going to step out of that. Let him talk about it. But Jesus, when he comes, he's going to deliver you out of your situation. See, and then you have your enemies. A lot of people hate their enemies. Regardless, I can't stand them. Well, honestly, I'd rather have more enemies than friends. Give me a lot of enemies and a few friends. Why do you say that? Because preacher, my enemies, they talk about me. They do me wrong. They just want me to fall in. But see, you have to flip the script. Because if it wasn't for your enemies, you wouldn't know how strong you could be in the name of Jesus. But when your enemies talk about it, what you do is you go on your knees and call on Jesus. When your enemies dig a ditch for you, you say in the name of Jesus, devil, get under me. When your enemies try to get you all around and messed up, you go to your Father and ask for strength. So your enemies make you realize how strong you are. So give me enemies more than friends. See, because the enemies have to be called on the name of Jesus. When you didn't know what to do, you knew to call on Jesus. Even if you couldn't say anything, all you had to say was Jesus, 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 and he came running for you. You felt like you couldn't, but when you felt trapped, you felt bound. Why would God let me be bound in chains and afflictions? You see, I had to think everything that is happening to you, Jesus took it all when he went to Calvary. See, Jesus, when he went to Calvary, if you remember, when they placed the crown of thorns on his head, if you look at that, nowadays you will see that it represents all the afflictions you'll ever deal with in your head, physically or mentally. And then they whip them on his back, and then it represents all your back pains, represents all your afflictions in your spinal cord, no matter what you feel in your back. Oh Lord, he took all of that when they was his friend a day ago. But then they turned and said crucify him. He took on all those backstabbing friends that say they love you on Monday, but then they cut you out on Tuesday. He took all of those pains. When your own friends and family and spouse act up, he says, hold on, my good and faithful servant. He took all the pains you could ever endure. And when they hung him on the cross, and they stretched him wide, arms out wide. He said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men unto me. But if you see that with his arms stretched out wide, you can see the devil think he has won that battle. But if Satan would have known what was going to happen when he got up 3 days later, he would 3 days he stayed there. Went down into hell. Got the keys from Satan, snatched them up. Took the sting out of death, put it in your sting. And took the people out of hell and said, come follow me. And come to my Father's house. Remember that 3 days he got up and rose. But see, when you think about it in your situation, just give it about 3 days. Maybe 3 weeks. Maybe 3 years. But in due time, the Lord is going to make you rise from that situation. You may be lying down. You may think you're dead. You may be sitting with your hand in your head, thinking, I don't know what's going to happen. But see, God's counting. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. And on your situation, on that 3rd day, God's going to tell you to get up, and you're going to spring up out of that, and you're going to shout to the Lord. He brought you out of that situation. Nobody else brought you out of that but God. And when you know that God is just that good, you gonna run just like they ran with Jesus, bro, and tell somebody else, I'm gonna run again and tell this man about Jesus and what he did for me. And what they see is you were at the bottom of the food chain. But then they see God raised you up, you are above and not beneath. You are the head and not the tail. See, as long as you rely and have King Jesus, you can't fail. You won't fail. There's no way you can fail. The devil may try to stop you, but see what happens when he tries to stop you, all you're going to do is just leap forward.